Hey, what's going on? Friday it is. Happy Friday to you. Oh, had a good workout. Man, I'm definitely not 17. Went and worked out with my son. It was a great time. We had a great workout together. It was awesome. And I'm sitting here catching a little sun in between the trees here, a little bit of vitamin D, some fresh air, and recovering from a tough workout. And I was going through all the messages. By the way, thank you so much for sharing with me the one piece of dieting advice you would give your 10-year younger self. And as I sit here and I finish my workout and I'm hungry because it's 1:30 and it's past lunch, right? And I worked out at about noon, 12:30, and I'm sitting here sipping a shake. And I'm thinking to myself, a protein shake, and I'm thinking to myself, I'd much rather be eating a bacon cheeseburger and fries and like a chocolate shake. Oh, that would be really good right now. And not to say that I deprive myself, but I was thinking to myself I'm not 17 anymore. So while I'm drinking this, thinking of it being a chocolate shake, I'm going to just pretend for a moment, and maybe you can pretend with me. So let's just get right to it. Let's talk about, now I got all the feedback for what you would tell your 10-year younger self. Now, you can't go back and change what's already happened, right? What's in the past is the past. But if you could, got a lot of things, and I actually have it here. I was going to just share, before I go into sharing with you what you should be screaming at your 10-year future self. So let's just say for me, I'm 48. What should I be screaming now to my 10-year future self when I'm 58, right? Because I hope to make it to 58. And if I do, I don't want to be screaming at myself when I'm 58, when I could be doing the things now. So let's talk about that. But first, let's just kind of take a quick kickback. If you come on here, please be social. Look, I want you to be social. Let me know, Pamela and Rose, give me a little high five, give me a little thumbs up, say good afternoon. Let me know maybe what you had for lunch. For me, it was a shake. I might have something else this maybe is not going to do it. I'm not getting a burger and fries. Thinking about it, I think I just put on a pound. So let's talk about this. So one piece of dieting advice for your 10-year self in the past, if you were to go back, your 10-year younger self, and a lot of things, break your addiction, do not invest, and I won't say the name, but don't invest in quick fixes or those gimmicky programs and stuff like that. Not to diet, lifestyle change from Celine, and judge yourself by the mirror. Very good one, Tom. Trusty, not the scale. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. I thought that said dating advice. No, we weren't. It was on dieting advice. But you know what? That might have, if you're single and you're thinking your 10-year future self, it may be a good thing to think of your diet before you think of your dating scene, right? Maybe you might be able to put yourself up a couple of notches there. Anyway, let's move forward. I'm digressing here. Moving forward with expressing your feelings for long. He who cares least wins. Yeah, good one. Water, absolutely. Water. Do not diet. Yeah, stop the fireball shots. Yes, woo, that's a tough one. Eat more. No, it's not a tough one for me. Eat more fruits and vegan protein. Good stuff. Read some books. American portion sizes. Lots of all those things. I don't eat out often, but typically, yeah, she was sharing a few things there. Never stop maintaining. Drink more water, no booze, tobacco, or illegal drugs. Eat fresh, great. Surrender, love that one. Shirley, great stuff there. Learn to eat and diet the right, yes, and keep moving. Yes, Lisa, good stuff there. I love that one. Gary from The Fork and the Spoon, great stuff. Totally enough said. Use one part of the fork only, right? Omit all refined sugars. There's a lot of you guys are pretty restrictive. My goodness. Incorporate some fasting. That could work. Don't do it. That's a good one. Consistently drink more water. Don't give up on your worth it. Food will not comfort Kathy. Food will not comfort you or give you peace. Yes, 100% good stuff. All of this can be related. So let's talk about what you should be screaming, because I get a lot of people share with me the advice, but they take their own advice. Now, I'm not calling any of you out. In fact, actually, I love you guys for participating and following and sharing your thoughts. I love it. And keep doing it. Bring your friends. Come on, join it. Let's just make this just one big happy family. That's what I want it to be. I didn't come from a big family, but both my parents did, each one of 6. And I have all kinds of people all over the place, cousins and uncles and aunts and all that stuff. And honestly, I'm not really close with many of them. It's not to be, feel sorry for them or anything, but you're my extended family. So let's do this. Let's just make this family amazing. And let's talk about like screaming. Now, let's talk about you've admitted to what you would tell your 10-year younger self. And maybe you know this for a fact because you struggled with whatever maybe you had shared on there. So whatever it was, if you've done diets, if you looked at the weight on the scale, if you maybe drank too much or ate too much, any of those things, regardless, we're not here to talk about that. But right now, where you're at, so for me, I'm 48, wherever you're at your age, 48, 58, 38, 68, 55, whatever it is, and thinking of yourself 10 years from now, where do you want to be? And a future cast, if you will, kind of like future. Think of like casting your fishing pole out there. If you were to cast it out there, where do you want to see yourself? If you can imagine, I've done this before. I don't know if you've done this before, but where would you like to see yourself? So for me, I think of at 58, that there's a chance at 58 that there may, be more of an extended family, maybe some grandchildren, maybe not at that point. Again, it's God's will on that. But I would like to think of 58. I would love to still be coaching. I'd love to still be in great shape. And I was like, what should I be screaming at? Well, I should be screaming now, like, Mark, take good care of yourself. Now invest time in yourself. Learn more about how your body works. Understand what kind of fuel you need. Don't just wing it. Don't just go overboard like you used to do in the college years or even when you were in your 30s and you just kind of ate and drank the way you wanted and didn't put any weight on. The reality is now, you know this for a fact, the reality is you can't, it just doesn't work the same. Your body just doesn't work the same. It doesn't mean that some of you may get off easy and you could just be skinny your whole life. And maybe it's because of the pack-a-day cigarettes you're smoking. I'm just kidding. But it could be, right? It could be related to that. Or you may just have a naturally gifted high metabolism. And it doesn't mean just because you're thin or the scale is telling you a number that's really favorable that you're out of shape. At the end of the day, the only way to get in shape, it says get. To get is meaning to get to something, right? To get in shape, you actually have to go get it. You have to go get after it. You actually have to do it. You just can't buy getting in better shape. Unfortunately, that's the one of the things in this lifetime that you can't just go out and buy. Now you can buy features, right? You can buy implants and you can buy nips and tucks and sucks and pulls and things like that, right? You can buy those things, but it isn't going to make you more fit. It may make you have the appearance, but on the inside, you and I both know that again, it's more superficial. So let's get deep here. What do you need to be screaming at yourself? Screaming at yourself, look at your choices now and your lifestyle going into this weekend. Why is this pertinent to today? Because it's Friday. And maybe you're living for the weekend, and that's cool. That's your prerogative. But if you're struggling on a journey of weight loss, struggling on a fitness journey, don't have any plan, don't have any structure, don't have any support, and you keep kicking yourself on Monday and you keep saying, why do I just keep going through the motions? Why do I keep beating myself up? And then I feel bad. And it's like this never-ending battle, because when you start to feel bad about yourself and you feel guilty that you're 50 pounds overweight, then guess what? Like, there's nothing more comforting than more food that puts more weight on and puts you more in that deeper spiral and that deeper pit. Like, trust me, I've met plenty of people in my journey as a coach. I've met plenty of people who have dug a deep pit. And I would say the pit doesn't end 10 years from now if you don't get after it, if you don't do something about your health is going to 100% do something to you that may not be favorable, right? It may or may not be, right? Chances are, if you just keep maybe pushing the buttons and seeing how far you can take it, how far you can indulge, how far you can go without working out or taking care of yourself, guess what? Sooner or later, you're going to have to suffer the consequences, right? I share this with my kids all the time. And let's just, for instance, think of you guys as my children. Like, again, I'm not your father, right? You have your own father. But let's just talk about this as if you're my child. I would be telling you, listen, I tell my kids this. They know. We had a conversation. My son and I had a conversation just the other day and saying, the decisions that you make, there's going to be consequences on the decisions you make. And that's related to everything. If you don't study, if you don't do the work, if you don't show up, then guess what? Your grades are probably going to suffer, right? If you don't, as far as the rules that we have in our house, if you don't abide by those rules, there's going to be consequences, right? There's repercussions, if you will, and there can be favorable things that happen when you abide by the rules and do what you're supposed to do. And it's our body's the same thing. The reality is you don't necessarily have a coach that is going to help guide you along or give you that direction and maybe some discipline like a parent is to a child. But let's just say that you have been struggling and maybe you're just relying on your own efforts and you're relying and thinking to yourself, man, I never really thought, at 48, maybe you're right around my stage of life at 48, maybe you're even older, maybe you're at 58 and you're like, you know what? I've just taken care of everybody else my whole life. And you know what? Now look at where I'm at. And you're looking at yourself and maybe you don't even look in the mirror anymore because you feel like you're so far gone and that you can't start now. And I want to just tell you that there is good news, that you actually can start. So back to the title of what should you be screaming at yourself 10 years from now? If you could scream at yourself in the future 10 years from now, right? If you could scream at yourself right now in the future is saying to yourself, okay, this is the time. This is the time. 10 years from now, this is time, meaning today, and from now until the next 10 years, this is the time. Today is the time. So you should be saying nothing different than you're saying today. So listen, we got 10 years. Do the math. 365 days times 10 years, right? 3,650 days. Is that correct? 3,650 days, you'll be 10 years older, right? Think about that for a moment. And 3,650 days, each day you should be saying to yourself, today's the day to get after it. Today, get after it. Today, do something for my health. Today, make good decisions. Today, make the effort. Today, be intentional. Today, take the time. Today, don't forget about that workout. Today, move your body more. Today, make a healthy meal choice. Today, not do too much of the things that you know are going to set you back. Today, make sure you get enough rest. You can be saying that for the next 10 years. Or, here's the opposite thing. You could just be avoiding it. The next 3,650 days, you can just be avoiding yourself, avoiding the inevitable. And unfortunately, what happens in 10 years is you're going to be exactly in the spot that you led yourself to. Because you have what you need today. You have what you need if you don't know how to start, if you don't know how to work out, if you don't know how to eat right, if you've been struggling, if you've been stuck, if you've been up and down the yo-yo ladder. You know there's people like me. I'm one of them. I've made it my life's work to work with primarily people in their 40s and 50s, over 40, just because it's the season of life I'm in. And as a Christian, not to say that I won't work with you if you're a non-Christian, but I would say as a Christian in my belief and faith and trust in God is that the best is still yet to come. But the only way the best is yet to come is if you go after your best. And sitting on your ass, and excuse the language, and doing nothing, you're not going to get there. 3,650 days are going to come like that. And you and I both know, if you're anywhere near my age, you know the last 10 years went by like that. And as I see my kid at 17 working out next to me, and 7 years ago we were at my gym and he didn't want to do anything. He was young, he was 10 years old, or 7 years old 10 years ago. And at 7 years old, you weren't thinking about working out. And it's amazing that 10 years later, 3,650 days now, I think to myself, what would I be doing now 10 years from now? Screaming at myself, keep getting after it, keep working hard, keep being diligent about taking good care of yourself. And that's my message to you. What you should be screaming about in 10 years is the same thing you should be screaming about right now. And if you're not, why not? My question to you is, why are you continuing to blow it off? There's too many people in this world that are struggling and suffering and sick and overweight and unhealthy and at risk. You're at high risk, not just for COVID, you're at high risk for all the other things that you're predisposing yourself to because of your lifestyle choices. And as a coach, I want to help somebody. You might be that person. I have room to take a few people each month into my program to come alongside and to show them the way I've been showing people for the past 25 years. And if this sounds like you're interested, now I have to say this because I get people often that book calls and they get on a call and they like the idea. And I'm going to be very open and transparent here, is that because I really don't have the time to waste. If you're just looking and maybe browsing and maybe considering, I'm not the guy for you. I'm not that coach. I'm not that mentor. You see, I'm not looking for people who are just thinking about wanting to get in shape, who don't think it's not going to be an investment, that they're not going to have to spend time and effort and energy and resources. By no means am I a $10 gym membership. So go into that knowing that there is a financial piece to it. Know that I'm an investment, but I'm also making a very similar investment in you, in my time and effort and my skills that I've learned over the last 25 years. So listen, if you're coming on and maybe you're just making ends meet and you're just doing that, I'm probably not the right coach for you. And just to save us time, I wouldn't recommend making that application or filling out the call or booking a call with me. You may not be ready for it. If you want to hit me up on the messenger and ask, again, and people are like, well, how much? How much is it to work with you? I get that question all the time. Well, why even talk about how much it's worth, how much it costs if we don't know if we're even a good fit to work together? I mean, there's no sense whether I'm the right fit financially or not. What matters is if you're the right fit, because there's no sense in actually moving forward with your health with somebody like me and a coach who takes what I do very seriously. Now, we have fun, right? We make it fun. We enjoy weekends and holidays, and I want you to as well. But most of the time, we're serious about taking advantage of today so that the next 365 days can just get better and better and better. And I can tell you, 10 years ago, I didn't think I'd be in the kind of shape I'm in today. And I feel like despite even maybe not being where I want to be personally yet, I'm still pursuing it. I'm still getting after it. And you have that ability too. You don't have to be a coach to get after it. But again, if you're not screaming at yourself 10 years from now, you better be starting to scream at yourself right now. Screaming at yourself saying, why am I not doing anything? Why am I sitting back? Why am I still struggling? Why, when there's coaches, legit, honest coaches who are out there ready to help? I'm one of those coaches. I'm not the only one, but I'm one of them. So here, you can blow this message off and just, hey, go on your day and deal with your weekend and then just kind of forget about it. Wait till the weekend. I'll wait till next week. I'll wait till after Thanksgiving. Let me just get through the holidays. That's the newest. Trust me, I'm already going to predict what a lot of you are going to say. Mark, I need to just get through the holidays before I start taking better care of myself. Let me just get through the holidays. I have a lot of commitments and I have a lot of family coming in town and I'm going to do some traveling. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, just depending on the world situation. Let me just get through this election. Let me just let my kids get through school. Let me just excuses. And you're just prolonging the inevitable. And guess what? 3,650 days are going to become half of that, because then 5 years are going to go by. And then guess what? Then there's going to be 1 year left and you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass saying, why did I wait another 10 years? Why did I wait another 10 years? Mark was talking about this 10 years ago. And guess what? I plan on doing this for another 10 years, just so you know. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, I met a woman at the gym today and we were talking and she had been working there for a while, older lady. And I said, and there was an altercation with another member there with somebody. And anyway, we ended up talking and she was saying, yeah, I've been in the fitness industry for 38 years. And I'll tell you what, guess what? She's getting after it. She was working hard and she was doing the work she needed to do. She was pursuing her best. And she was at least 10 years, I think probably a good 10 years older than me. And that just made me want to come on here and share with you, what do you need to be screaming at your 10-year older self? Whatever it is, start screaming at it now, so that maybe that there's a mindset shift that can happen now, so the next 3,650 days don't become 365 days and you're looking at 10 years later and you still haven't done anything yet. And your body is not just 30 pounds overweight, now it's 60 pounds overweight or 90 pounds overweight. And now you're not just, you have a little arthritis, you need joint replacements. And now your shoulder's not just a little tight, now you need a total rotator cuff repair. And now, your back isn't bothering you need to have back surgery. And now, it could be a number of things, right? So don't wait, stop waiting, start acting today. Get after it today. Scream at yourself today. Get on a call with me. Let's work it out together. Trust me, it's going to be much easier when you have outside eyes that have been doing this whole really professional career, 25 years. Really, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you are ready to invest in yourself, if you are ready to get after it, if you are ready to not make the 10 years in front of you like the last 10 years if you've been struggling. You want 20 years? Trust me, I meet people that have been struggling for 20 years. If you've been struggling for 20 years, you want to struggle for another 10 years? You don't have to. It's not as hard as you think, but it is if you keep trying to stay on that struggle bus. If you keep yourself locked up and you don't have that freedom that I know is possible for you can enjoy your weekends and your holidays, keep the weight off, stay in great shape, do the things you want to do with your family, enjoy the way you look, go out on a hot date with your spouse, be intimate, not be afraid to take your clothes off in front of them. Those are the things I'm talking about. Like, those are the real life things, right? Forget the number on the scale. It means much more than that number. Trust me, you know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. That's all I have. Take care. Have a blessed weekend. Reach out. Send me a message. We'll get on a call. We'll see if we're a good fit together. But again, I'm just saying, if you're just poking around, don't bother poking this way. Don't go reaching out to me if you're not serious. If you're not ready to invest in yourself, don't make the effort. Don't waste your time or mine. Time is too precious. Neither one of us have enough time to waste, and I certainly don't want to waste your time. And I ask, please don't waste mine. So anyway, take care. Have a great weekend. Talk soon. God bless.